Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Deary, deary me. There seems to be, an awful issue and a problem with the message that I push, and people fail to grasp it. It's not so some people don't fail to grasp it. It's just that they know that it's a threat to any manipulation or you know false reality that anybody wants to push. So you know, let's have a wee look at what's so threatening about what I'm saying and what it is I actually am saying. Um, the reality is the reality, okay? For me, when this question came to me about is the Earth a globe, I found no proof of that. And then I assessed the situation that I was actually in, and all these people who were pushing maps and models and making these claims, and I realised very quickly that how are they verifying or falsifying these maps and models? Um, you know, Standing in the inner circle, if you like. And it's a bit like that, if people are living in a maze, the centre of a maze their whole life, and then they realise that what they were told about that maze wasn't the truth, would the onus or responsibility be on them to come up with, some imaginary model about where they think they are? Or would it be, simple and logical to say, well, that's not what we were told, so let's go and have a wee look. So, and it seems that obviously if you've got something to protect, then that message is a real issue. So, and these people who try and act like, you need a belief to defend so that I can attack your belief and I can defend my belief. You need to be very, very suspicious of these people, and I mean very suspicious. Anybody who's logical and critical in their thought would, knows what I'm saying is the reality and the truth. And you hear them trying to say that you're shutting down imagination. Imagination has its place. This issue that requires no imagination. And this is what they constantly push, that you need a belief and an imagination, and so they're trying to sell you a religious cult. So what is so threatening about that? Why is it an issue? And as I say, it can tell you a hell of a lot. Obviously, it is an issue. If you're trying to keep control and you're hiding something, then somebody like me who's saying that, but it's going to become an issue. What's the alternative? What is the alternative to what I'm saying? What you always see, these different camps with different maps and models all arguing with each other. Right, that's discourse, that's division, that's part of the manipulation tactics of control. So if anybody, I don't think any clever people are really, confused by this. I think it's very clear for the people who know exactly what is going on with these wee groups and their tactics that they use. It's funny because these wee groups, every time I make a move, they seem to try and react. I've seen it before, and I'm seeing it again. They realise that, when people see you, who you really are, you've got kids and you're in certain situations, they know that people want that or have a trust with you with that. So then they try and mimic it. And all of a sudden you'll see videos of, oh, look at my cute kids and my grandchildren, and and while I'm doing that, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to promote these illogical characters who I'm here to support, like Jed and Laurie and Conspiracy Mystique, and their wee circles, and they all appeared in the scene and promoted each other to make each other relevant, to try and keep an audience and cause discourse, because what do any of these people actually offer? They offer nothing. All they offer is trying to attack and slander personality. They can never address any content. And when they do try and address the content, they just make a total mess of themselves. Saying like, you need imagination and all these fucking crazy things. the questions for as a science question, it requires absolutely zero of your imagination. If you're trying to invent things and whatever and be creative or artistic, your imagination is great. But when we're talking about discovering the reality we actually live in, it doesn't require anybody's imagination at all. None of them can refute that. They're given the platform, as I see, many you've seen last night, and they'll just sit in the chat box and hope that they can have influence that way because they know how ridiculous they're going to look when they're actually, met face to face. And I'm open to anybody. The invitation's there and it's always there. And I'm probably just going to go live randomly now. I'm not even going to advertise it, just to keep these fuckers right on their toes. So when I do go live, the invitation's there. If any of these clowns like, Jed and Laurie and Validation Boy and other wee circle, their wee culty circles, have something to say, they want to refute any content, or, have a discussion, whatever, that's fine. I'm open to that. And I'm also clocking, people talking about how when you say, imagination and belief, this question does not require imagination and belief. You are entitled to your imagination and your beliefs about what this whole place is and whatever, but that doesn't mean to say that it should be pushed as any sort of truth. People philosophize, people, play with ideas in their mind, me included. But I would never come forth and make any claims, any of that my subjective imagination is true or holds water in some way, and imagining models and, if something's unattainable and you can't observe and test it, then it's not reality. That's why we have models of Star Wars figures and Spider-Man and Batman, because they're no reality, and the only model you can make of them is fucking plastic toys, right? But when we're discussing reality, i.e. the elements of the reality you're living in, you should be able to model it on any scale and show it empirically, and empirically provide and prove any claims that you're making. Any claim that anybody's making to you about reality, it should be recreatable, observable, testable. End of fucking story. Anybody trying to push anything different, they have an agenda, right? I say it's interesting watching the dynamics. And there's people involved in this who know me in my personal life and know who I am. And they'll obviously be watching this and they can see these operations in play. It's pretty fucking clear and obvious. You offer them the chance to provide proof. And again, I'm no a dogmatist, I'm no closed-minded in any way, shape or form. I'm the one who's here saying, I don't know, and nobody else should be claiming to know, and I always have been. But they try and paint you in some group, they're desperate to try and pigeonhole you into some group, and it's just never going to happen. They're going to get their arses clipped every time they come near me or try this, because, if I've got the truth and I'm pushing the truth, they've got no chance. The only hope they have is slander, trying to emotionally sway you. I mean, it's so fucking obvious. And to continue to give them a platform for their illogical, nonsensical behaviour is fucking retarded. These people don't help to any progress. They cause nothing but discourse. Absolutely nothing but discourse. Double standards, shifting the goalpost, imagination, all the tactics of cult religious behaviour, in order to keep it going. So, as I say, I can see these fuckers as clear as day. They know I can see them as clear as day. And as I say, you see them jumping and trying to adopt certain things that you put out there or you do, your mannerisms or how you're setting your format out. And they've been doing it for a long time. They may work from a script, but sometimes when you get a rogue, they can't really script it, so they just try and go with it as it's moving, as it's happening. And you're seeing that, so you need to be very wary of these, manipulators, and see them for exactly what they are. As I say, I can have fun with them, I can troll them, no problem. My platform's open for them. If they want to come in and have a logical discussion and, put their points across, then fair enough. That's up to them. But they do nothing but misrepresent and tell lies and try and blow things out of proportion. You've met these people in your circles in your everyday life, these fucking drama queens who cause nothing but discourse, and there's always a common denominator, when you actually start to look at situations. And for me, you can see these fucking clowns as clear as day. So, as I say, going back to the whole map and model thing, we are under no obligation to represent any map and model. The reality of the situation is that we have been sold a lie, or we bought a lie for most of our lives. That is falsified. There's absolutely zero proof of it, and the burden of proof lies with those making claims. You don't just make a claim and then say, disprove me, and try and shift the burden. The burden of proof lies with anybody who's representing any model, whether it be flat, globe or concave. And that's their problem. That's why they don't have, face-to-face discussion and confrontation, because they know it's going to be highlighted as false. So, and science, as I understand it, and feel free to refute anything I say, has the ability and must have the ability to say, you don't know. Because as long as you're saying you don't know, you can make progress and keep your mind open to the new possibilities. It's these people who claim to know that you should be very suspicious of. As I says to John when we were talking the other night, I would rather be in a group of people who don't know than people who claim to know. Because that group is just going to be about discourse, battles, wars, because people they're invested in their beliefs and their imagination, so they want to battle each other. And they get very offended when you say, well, I don't take any stance, I don't have any belief. For me, beliefs are a virus. They're a substitute for knowing. It's absolutely illogical to adopt beliefs, when you can actually go and discover and know. Beliefs are for imaginative scenarios. Oh, I believe there's another dimension. I believe there's something that I can't see, That's the language, understand what belief actually means. It's investing in something, especially something that doesn't have any proof. So, and it's certainly no science. So, none of these charlatans, these fucking religious cult members, gatekeepers, Masonic fucking cliquey wee groups, they're not going to get away with this. They know it, and they panic, and that's why they have a big deal with me, because there is nothing to attack. The only thing they can resort to is making themselves look illogical and stupid, because they do nothing but try and attack the character, and they can do that either they're blue in the face. It's never going to have an effect or an impact on me or anybody with half a brain that's watching. It's only people who are as shallow and as stupid as them that actually gets affected by that. So, let them waste their fucking time and expose themselves for exactly what they are. I can see it clear as day. Many other people can see it clear as day. So it's just a matter of time before these clowns become irrelevant, and all these fake celebrities who are involved in it become irrelevant, because the truth is not going to be stopped, right? So they are going to be forced to either represent the truth or fuck all the way off, right? That's the reality of the fucking situation. Fuck all the way off is a Martinism. But again, I appreciate people who came, watch the live thing. As I say, I'm not going to advertise it anymore. I'm just going to randomly go live. I may just go live later on this evening and open it back up again. Even if I'm on for half an hour, I'll give it half an hour for any of these clowns to come and have their say, to discuss any of the content or any of the previous situations that's happened before. But they won't, and I'm going to call them every single time and offer them that face to face. They're just going to look ridiculous. They'll come and they'll hide in the chat, but they will never come on camera. That says a hell of a lot. Cowards, absolute shitebags, right? Because they know they're pushing fucking nonsense, and they don't have control of their faculties up there, so they can't hold themselves in a one-to-one. It's nothing about being intimidated. I don't intimidate anybody. If you're intimidated by me, that's your own shortcomings. You know, don't blame me for that. You know, and people like fucking these morons will try and blame it on me. Oh, you're intimidating, you're intimidating. It's just their own weakness. They're displaying how emotionally weak they actually are. So, again, but it's all good because you start to see these characters and these psychological games and tactics that are happening. And as I say, these people are nothing but weak. They're trying to adapt and move and keep up as time goes on. When real people are putting stuff out there and putting their face up, they don't know how to deal with that. They can only try and adopt anything that you're doing because they have absolutely fucking zero um, about them. You know, they're just empty. So, as I say, just to end it, anybody telling you that you should have a map or a model to represent is a liar and a charlatan, and you should be very, very suspicious of them. The reality of the situation is that the claim that was put to us, the globe, has been falsified. Therefore, we're in a position where we don't know the full dimensions. We can speculate and have imagination and philosophies, but that will never solve anything. The only thing that's going to solve it is full disclosure and full exploration. Okay, that will happen when people start getting to a point where that's what they want. They realise the reality and the truth of the situation, and that's what they're demanding, right? And accepting nothing less. And as I say, that's my ideal. That's the only place I can aim for. If people are happy and content to run around in circles battling and bitching with each other about hypotheticals and each other's imagination, by all means, but that's a loony farm. And anybody who's trying to keep you in that is a fucking lunatic and somebody that you should be fucking watching, right? So, as I say, keep an eye out because I'm just going to go live randomly, keep these fucking idiots on their toes. Peace.